The observation deck of the Terran Vanguard hummed with the quiet desperation of a dying ship. Elsa pressed her palm against the reinforced viewport, watching the Krell armada tighten its formation around their crippled vessel. 700 alien warships, each one capable of glassing a planet, and here they were, 2 humans in a battered freighter that had no business being in deep space. "They're hailing us again," Farrett said from the communications console, his voice steady despite the tremor in his shoulders. Elsa didn't turn around. She'd seen that look before, the way Farrett's jaw clenched when he was calculating their odds. He'd been doing it since they were kids in the Martian colonies, back when the Krell were just horror. Stories told by freighter captains who'd ventured too far into the outer reaches. "Ignore them," she said. "Elsa." I said ignore them. The viewport flickered as another Krell dreadnought maneuvered into position, its obsidian hull drinking in the starlight. The Krell had conquered 47 systems in the past decade. They didn't negotiate. They didn't take prisoners. They simply erased anything that stood between them and their inexorable expansion across the galaxy. Humanity had learned that lesson the hard way at Proxima Station. Farrett stood, his chair scraping against the metal floor. "We can't run. We can't fight. What exactly is your plan here?" Elsa finally turned to face him. Farrett looked older than his 32 years, they both did. Space had a way of aging you, grinding you down until you were nothing but sharp edges and survival instinct. His dark hair fell across his forehead, and those hands that could rebuild a quantum drive blindfolded were shaking now. "The Krell think they understand humans," Elsa said quietly. "They've studied our biology, our psychology, our military tactics. They know we're weaker, slower, shorter-lived. They think that makes us predictable, doesn't it?" "No." Elsa moved to the central console, her fingers dancing across the holographic interface. "It makes us desperate. And desperate humans are the most dangerous thing in the universe." Farrett stepped closer, close enough that she could smell the recycled air on his breath, the metallic tang of their dying ship. "What did you do?" Elsa pulled up a schematic, not of the Vanguard but of something much larger. The Krell command carrier at the center of the armada, a vessel so massive it had its own gravitational field. "Remember the Prometheus Protocol?" she asked. Farrett's eyes widened. "That's a myth. A ghost story from the war?" "No," Elsa said, her voice barely above a whisper. "It's very real. And we're sitting on the only functional prototype in existence, the Prometheus Protocol, a quantum-entangled bomb designed by Earth's most brilliant and most desperate scientists. Not just a weapon, a message. A line in the sand that said, 'If you destroy us, we'll take you with us.'" "The entire armada?" Farrett breathed. "Every ship, every Krell. Simultaneous detonation through quantum linkage." Elsa met his gaze. "But someone has to activate it manually. The Krell jamming is too strong for remote detonation." Understanding crashed over Farrett's face like a wave. "You're talking about a suicide run." "I'm talking about saving Earth, Mars. Every human colony between here and Sol." Elsa's voice cracked. "The Krell think they can break us because we're fragile, because we have short lives and soft bodies. They don't understand that's exactly why we'll do anything to protect what little time we have." Farrett was silent for a long moment. Outside, the Krell ships continued their slow, inevitable approach. In 30 minutes, maybe less, they'd board the Vanguard. They'd dissect Elsa and Farrett, study their remains, add humanity's biodata to their collection, and move on to Earth. Unless someone stopped them right here. "Right now. It needs 2 people, Farrett said suddenly. "The protocol. I read the specs once back at the academy. 2 activation keys synchronized perfectly." Elsa nodded slowly. She'd hoped he wouldn't remember that detail. "Right here," Farrett said, his voice stronger now. "Right now. Farrett, you were going to do this alone, weren't you?" He laughed, but there was no humor in it. Always the martyr. Always trying to carry the weight of the whole damn species. "One of us could still—" "No." Farrett moved to the second activation console, his trembling hands hovering over the interface. "We do this together or not at all. That's what humans do, Elsa. We don't abandon each other. Not even at the end." Elsa felt something break inside her chest. Not fear, but something deeper. Relief, maybe. Or gratitude. She'd been alone for so long, carrying this terrible secret, knowing what she'd have to do. But here was Farrett, steady and certain despite his shaking hands, refusing to let her face the darkness alone. That was humanity in a nutshell, scared, fragile, doomed, but never, ever alone. The Krell will know what we did, Elsa said. The ones beyond this armada. They'll know humans are willing to die rather than surrender. Good, Farad said. Let them know. Let them understand what they're up against. Elsa activated her console. Farad mirrored her movements. The Prometheus Protocol hummed to life, its quantum processors reaching out across space, touching every Krell ship simultaneously, invisibly, inevitably. Right here? Elsa asked, her voice barely audible. Right now, Farad confirmed. She looked at him one last time. This boy she'd known since childhood. This man who'd followed her across the stars, who'd chosen to die with her rather than let her die alone. His hands were still trembling, but his eyes were clear. Human eyes, filled with fear and courage in equal measure. Together, they pressed the activation keys. The universe held its breath. Then the stars went white. 3 months later, a Krell explorer ship would discover the debris field, 700 warships reduced to cosmic dust, and at its center the twisted remains of a human freighter. The Krell Empire would debate for years what had happened here. Some said it was a malfunction, others a trap. But the smart ones, the ones who truly studied the wreckage, understood the truth. Humanity had sent a message written in fire and sacrifice. A message that said, we are here. We are small. We are fragile, but we will never ever kneel.